Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
So this is a 5-10 game at MGM National Harbor.
Okay.
Sometimes 5-10 there is a little bit nitty. I mean, it's oftentimes just a lot of regs and pros handing stacks back and forth, but this was a really good game. It was 5-10 with a mandatory 25 straddle. It was last Friday night.
Oh, that's a big game. Are you a CLP sub?
I am.
So do you know this guy, Jesse the Suit? Do you see this guy wearing a suit playing 2-5?
I have seen him occasionally.
Yeah.
Yes.
How can you miss him? So, all right, so 5-10, 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 2,500 cap game. But for this hand, the villain is at about 1,800. I'm at about 4,900.
Okay.
So I have 2 red jacks on the button.
2 red jacks on the button. Okay. So
yeah.
It gets full. Oh, so it's 25 on the button or under the gun? I'm sorry.
25 under the gun.
Okay. So it gets folded to you?
No. Sorry. The cutoff limps 25.
Wow. Okay. Fishy play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy is definitely a gambler.
How deep are you guys, by the way?
He effective with cutoff is the main villain, and he's 1,800.
Okay.
So I've got him covered.
All right. Cool.
So yeah, this guy's definitely a gambler. I feel like I've seen him definitely apply some pressure, but I'm not super confident in his. He might be kind of a fish. So I raised to 100, which is fairly standard for the table. We've been doing about 3x plus, x.
Right.
Called in the small blind, the straddle, and the cutoff calls.
Small blind, straddle, and cutoff call. Okay. You have pocket jack, so the pot's 400, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The flop is queen of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 4 of diamonds.
Do you know the suits of your jacks, just out of curiosity?
Both red.
Red,
diamonds,
okay.
Diamond and heart.
I know you said that. I'm sorry. All right, cool. So,
No, yeah.
Queen of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 4 of diamonds. Okay.
It checks through to me on the button, and I bet 200. I feel like this is I'm probably continuing at about half pot most of the time here. It's a pretty connected board.
I would probably bet, if I was going to bet, I'd probably bet a little bit smaller. I'd probably bet 100 or 150 here, sometimes check. You've got the jack of diamonds here, which is a slightly better hand to check back. Your hand does need like a little bit of protection, but I think that's probably a little bit on the larger side, but I don't think it's a large mistake, but I think that checking is certainly viable too. So you bet 200 because you're betting into 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small blind folds, straddle folds, cutoff raises to 500.
That's interesting.
And my thinking at the table is basically he's never doing this with a queen. I don't even see why ace queen would be raising here.
So you think this is a draw, basically?
Yeah. I read this as like the nut flush draw, some kind of combo draw, maybe something crazy like, 6-7 of diamonds.
But couldn't he have, like, if you said he called with 4-5 off and a 3-bet clock, couldn't he have 4-5 suited or 4-5 off here too?
Yeah, no, he definitely. I think I probably discounted too much any bottom 2 pair or sets.
Yeah. I mean, here's the problem is that I understand what you're thinking. And again, I've sort of learned this from a little bit from my 5-5 challenge too. If somebody's really wide pre-flop here, then like if they're calling 4-5 off, if they have like queen 5 and queen 4, like let me agree with you and say that he doesn't do this with a queen. Okay, fine, right? On the surface, it looks like this is a draw, right? Because he doesn't do this with a queen, but he seems to have like a lot of 2 pair on a non-traditional 2 pair heavy board here. I mean, 9 combos of 5-4. If he had even if he had 5-4 off, and then like another 4 to 5 suited queen 5 and queen 4s. And then some of the sets that he sort of raises off here too. I just, when I have called check raises on turns and stuff, what I've found is that people just have these hands quite a bit. So I think the wider the guy, the more I would just err towards folding right now on the flop. I understand your approach that he might not have a queen, but he might have a fair amount of value just because he's playing so many hands.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you called, it sounds like.
Yeah, so I called there. And I was thinking maybe if I'm really solid in my read, which, I may or may not be, maybe that's a raising hand. But obviously my instinct was to call, and I called.
You mean a raise back?
Yeah.
3-bet the check raise?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't think the guy's folding. So, I mean, you'd have to run it and say, like, if he's got combo draws and a bunch of, like, 2-pair and sets, like, I don't think that's going to be the right play. You know what I mean? Like, I don't... Fair. I mean, but that's basically saying that you want to commit right now all your money with jacks. I feel like he has a lot of hands here if he plays wide pre. But, okay, so you make the call.
Yeah, I call. The turn is the 5 of hearts.
Okay, so that cuts down on a lot of his value, obviously. Value combos, at least. Yeah.
And he jams for about 1,200 more.
He jams for 1,200 more. So what the plot...
1,200 to like 1,400-ish.
All right, so V1 jams. 1,200 into 14. So here's the thing is that, okay, well, now, quad fives, right? He's got one combo quad five. This doesn't seem like it's a full house all that much. Although I did play a hand like this with King Jack, and I got check raised on a King 6-7 board with King Queen. I actually posted in the forums last week, and the guy ended up having 6-7 offsuit. And he check raised me on the flop, and I called him the turn. He filled up, but he didn't jam. Like, this sort of does look kind of draw heavy now, because I don't know how many full houses just jam here. And the only thing that I would say here, too, that sort of sucks is, like, are you ever going to, like, run into Queen 4 here that doesn't even know what to do, that's gotten counterfeit, and just blasts that you lose to? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, Queen 4 suited, although it's like, it's only 2 combos, like, maybe he doesn't know what to do and he just blasts. I mean, listen, if your approach was that you thought he was on a draw, how can you fold now? I mean, what would be linear now is that, like, if you called thinking the guy's on a draw, and now a card comes that's one of the biggest bricks in the deck, he makes a move that's very inconsistent with the full house, and it cuts down on the combinations of value, then you have to call. I just question the flop call. But I don't see how you could fold now if you were going to call the flop.
Well, I think I sort of did the worst of both worlds.
Now you folded?
Because I did end up folding this.
Okay.
And I think you're right. As I've been thinking back over it, I think that if I'm going to call the flop and something like the an offsuit,
what are you looking for? I mean, what if the turn was the turn was an offsuit 9 and he jammed? I mean, offsuit 5 is the best card in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think that I got a little bit lost in the hand.
Okay, so what did you end up?
Especially because it was. So I folded. I showed him the jacks. He showed me pocket tens.
Pocket tens, just that. Well, so pocket tens sort of fits into that. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Part on the turn. Now it's interesting though because obviously he's turning tens into a bluff, but does that fall in line with you? Don't think he would do that with a queen though? If he's raising tens, or he's just turning some weird hand into a bluff. Like you said, you didn't think he had a single paired queen, but he's doing this with tens, almost smelling like maybe he thought he was good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe tens. Maybe he's trying to blow me off of a worse queen. Maybe it's trying to blow me off of queen jack suited or something in a way that he wouldn't if he had a queen. I don't know. That's a good point though.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting hand. Thanks for the call. Like I said. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.